Be me. 29, sociology grad, think I cracked the code of relationships. Married young, tell everyone it's because I found a man who's mature. My friends always complain about their boyfriends being clingy or needy. I smirk and say, couldn't be me. Brag that my husband respects me so much, he never pressures me. They call me lucky, I nod like I earned it. We're at girls' night, half-empty wine glasses on the table. Friend just dumped her boyfriend for being too attached. She looks at me, sighs, wish I had what you two have. I laugh, say, he doesn't smother me, it's perfect. Another one chimes in, yeah girl, you got a good one, no pressure, no drama. One friend raises her glass, says, to husbands who aren't needy. They all clink glasses, laughing like it's a victory chant. I take it as proof I'm doing marriage right. Meanwhile, he's in the kitchen, folding laundry. I joke that he's basically house-trained now. Friends laugh, call me goals. He just keeps folding, doesn't look over. I tell myself, he doesn't mind. That's what makes him different. He doesn't need constant validation like other men. One of them jokes about guys being obsessed with sex. I roll my eyes, say, that's just because they've been raised to think women are beneath them. They all nod. I brag that I set boundaries early, made it clear I wouldn't be the submissive one. Proud that he matured past all that. In my head, it's proof I'm not stuck like those other women. Around then, I started following a bunch of feminist pages. They said, dominance turns women into props. Respect means no pressure. I took it literally. No more letting him lead, no more giving in when I didn't feel like it. Told him intimacy would be on my terms only because that's what equality looks like. He said, whatever makes you comfortable, and I treated that as proof I was right. I didn't just set boundaries, I wrote policy. No initiating from him. No touching unless I said so. It's called equality and true feminism. I always bragged that he was different from other guys. Truth is, he never really had that pushy streak most men do. When we met in college, he was the quiet one in the group. History major, soft-spoken, bit awkward socially. Never fought for attention, just helped when needed. Some people said he was shy, others said too nice. I thought it was maturity. He grew up kind of sheltered. Sports injury in high school that never fully healed. Used to limp after long walks, still does sometimes. So he was never the loud athlete type. Always felt more comfortable in the background. I loved that about him. He wasn't like the others who bragged or competed. Looking back, he always hesitated before giving opinions. Would say, whatever you think, even on simple stuff like dinner. I thought it was sweet, like he trusted my judgment. Maybe it was just easier than risking being wrong around me. He over-apologized too. Say the wrong thing, and he'd immediately backpedal with, sorry, I didn't mean it. Once, I snapped at him for being late to pick me up. He didn't defend himself, just said, my bad, 5 times in a row. His voice cracked a little, like he was scared I'd stay mad. I told myself that was respect, but maybe it was fear of losing me. I used to joke he was safe. Didn't chase after other girls, never made me feel objectified. I framed it as proof I'd trained him right, but maybe he was just easy to mold. In bed, I pushed the same narrative. I hated the idea that men being dominant meant women were just props. Told him early on, if we're going to be together, I'm not playing submissive. He nodded, said, whatever makes you comfortable, and I ran with it. Made all the rules, decided when, if ever, intimacy happened. Called it empowerment, but deep down it was control. He never pushed back, never argued. Always looked relieved when I said, not tonight. I told myself that was proof of respect. Never thought maybe it was fear of rejection. My friends envy me for having a man who knows his place. I tell them it's because I set boundaries. What I don't admit is maybe he was already broken in some way. Quiet, easy to push around. And I just polished it into something I could brag about. We passed the hallway later, dusty wedding photo still on the wall. I barely notice it anymore. Can't remember the last time we even stopped to look at it. First year, we couldn't keep our hands off each other. Then after finding out about this gender imbalance, I started counting touches like debts. He learned to stop asking. The more I scrolled those pages, the more I changed our rules. I said I didn't want to be made small by affection or bedroom dominance. Rebranded distance as respect, said real love doesn't need touching to prove itself. He adjusted without a fight, and I called that maturity instead of fear. But hey, we don't need those cliches. Our love is deeper, right? That night, after the girls leave, wine glasses still on the counter, lipstick stains like trophies. I climb into bed, realize we haven't touched in weeks. Instead of worry, I feel proud. He respects my space. He's not like other men. Almost want to text the group chat about it. I turn to him, smile, say, I love how you don't pressure me. You're the perfect partner. He forces a grin, quick and stiff. Doesn't say much, just nods. Rolls over, clicks the lamp off. Back turned, before I can even finish the thought, I brush it off as maturity. Convince myself it's what healthy marriages look like. No drama, no begging, no neediness. Like we graduated to some higher level of love. On his nightstand is an unopened anniversary card I gave him weeks ago, still sealed, gold edge catching the light. Pretend not to notice, tell myself he's not sentimental, scroll my phone instead, buzz from the girls. You're lucky, girl. Most men can't control themselves. I like the message. Put the phone down, pretend the emptiness beside me isn't loud. Before sleep, I catch him scrolling old photos on his phone. Honeymoon, beach, arms around me. He locks the screen quick, almost like he's hiding something. I want to ask, but don't. Better to believe he's just being respectful. That's what I wanted. Right? Later that week, we meet my friends for brunch. Sunlight through the window, clinking glasses, avocado toast everywhere. They bring their boyfriends this time. Lots of laughing, couples stealing bites off each other's plates. One guy brushes a crumb off his girlfriend's cheek. She giggles. I smirk, lean back in my chair, like I'm above it all. Say, we don't need all that showy stuff. My husband respects me too much to be clingy. The girls cheer, all smiles and nods. I feel smug, like I just won a debate. Proof our way is better. A waiter trips a little, spills water across the table. One boyfriend immediately shrugs off his jacket, wraps it around his girlfriend's shoulders. Everyone chuckles at how sweet it is. I sneer under my breath. Overreaction. Friends nod at me, like I'm the wise one who knows affection is unnecessary. Glance at him. He's staring at his phone, not even pretending to join in. Thumb scrolling, face blank. Meanwhile, his toast sits cold, untouched on the plate. The boyfriends glance at each other, eyebrows raised. They don't say anything, but I catch the look. I force a laugh, wave it off. They just don't get it. When the check comes, we split evenly. Everyone laughs about equal partnerships. I watch him put his card down quietly, no complaints. In my head, it's proof again. Mature, not petty. As we leave, someone snaps a group selfie. One friend jokes loud enough for the table to hear, strong couples don't need PDA. I laugh and nod, take it like a badge of honor. Just when I think the brunch is winding down, one boyfriend leans forward. But doesn't it feel weird never holding hands or anything? Fork clinks against a plate. The table goes quiet for a second. I laugh too loud. We're not insecure like you guys. Another shakes his head, smirking. Nah, come on. Respect's good, but if my girl didn't want me touching her? I'd feel like a roommate, not a partner. The first one nods, presses. Yeah, man, affection's not insecurity, it's connection. His girlfriend squeezes his hand across the table, like punctuation. I see my husband look up from his phone for the first time, then look down again, just as fast. They push it further, this time straight at him. Seriously, dude, are you actually fine with this? Never touching? Never showing anything? I cut in before he can answer, laugh sharp, rehearsed. Of course he's fine, that's why we work. My feminist friend tries to back me up with a joke. We don't need men pouring at us, right? Her voice wavers when she sees his face. Long pause. Finally, he says flatly, she's happy. That's what matters. The words hang heavier than silence. I beam like I just proved my point, but something about his tone feels off. I swallow it down, keep smiling anyway. That night after brunch, the house feels heavier than usual. No laughter echoing, just the low hum of the fridge in the kitchen. I head upstairs, expecting him to already be knocked out, but when I push the bedroom door, it's still perfectly neat. Sheets smooth, his pillow untouched, cold under my hand. I pause, confused. He always went to bed early, even if we weren't talking much. Check the bathroom. Lights off, towel still dry on the rack. Something about the emptiness makes my chest tighten. I shake it off, tell myself he probably just fell asleep on the couch again. Walk down the hallway, slippers squeaking on the hardwood, past that same dusty wedding photo on the wall. Don't even look at it this time. Keep repeating to myself, this is fine. This is maturity. Reach the living room, lights dim except for the TV glow. He's curled up on the couch, still in his work clothes. Shoes off, but shirt buttons undone, like he just collapsed there. TV playing some late night rerun he isn't even watching. Remote dangling half off the cushion, about to fall. On the coffee table sits that unopened anniversary card again. Weeks later, still sealed, gold edge catching the light. Beside it, a takeout container half eaten, receipt still shoved in the bag. The whole scene looks abandoned, like he gave up mid-thought. I stand there frozen, gripping the doorway. Part of me wants to shake him awake, ask why he didn't come upstairs. Instead, I swallow it down, tell myself he's just tired. This is what respectful love looks like. No pressure, no clinging. I repeat it until it sounds true, but the couch feels less like maturity and more like distance. Next day, I run errands alone, cart half full with frozen meals and a bottle of wine. Stand in line at the grocery store, scrolling my list, not really looking around. Ahead of me, there's a couple maybe 10 years older. They're sharing a pair of earbuds, laughing at something only they can hear. He rests his hand on her waist like it's second nature. She leans into it without thinking, like it's normal. I stare longer than I mean to, then look back down at my cart. 2 microwavable dinners, 1 toothbrush tossed in last minute. Suddenly the cart feels emptier than it should. I tell myself it's practical, that's all. We don't need to act like kids to prove we're happy. At checkout, cashier scans the 2 frozen dinners, pauses, asks casually, "Just for one tonight?" I laugh too quickly. "Oh no, for both of us." But the lie tastes bitter even as I say it. Beside the register, there's a bucket of wilted flowers on clearance, petals browning at the edges, slumped in their plastic wrap. I glance at them, then look away before the thought sticks. Tell myself flowers die fast anyway, a waste of money. Store speakers are playing some old love song, faint through the static. I catch my reflection in the freezer door glass. Alone, holding a bottle of wine. I force a smile, push the cart forward. Convince myself we're past that stage, too mature for childish displays. A week later, we meet the same group for dinner downtown. Not random, we're planning a couples-only lake trip next month. Airbnb link is booked, they want to sort cars, costs, who's bringing what. I tell myself, this is why we work. Adults, organized, equal. Restaurant is low light, candles in little glasses, menus that double as coasters. Someone passes around a printed packing list, highlighter marks everywhere. Coolers, towels, sunscreen, snacks, hiking shoes. The guys start joking about who's the better driver on mountain roads. Keys clatter on the table as they compare cars like it's part of the ritual. Conversation shifts to luggage. One boyfriend grins at his girlfriend, says he'll carry her bags, all of them if I have to. She laughs and squeezes his arm. The table coos like it's sweet. I cut in fast. She can carry her own. It's 2025, not prom night. Smiles tighten for a second, then the chatter resumes. I double down, because letting it slide feels like losing ground. Say, for us, it's equal loadouts. No porter service, no princess treatment. Tap my phone where I've got our checklist open. Separate backpacks, split the cooler. Add, loud enough for the table. No one needs to perform caretaking to feel like a man. A couple of nods, a couple of side glances. He's quiet beside me, tracing the condensation ring with his thumb. I feel him about to offer, so I headed off. We're good, I've got my gear. He nods like he's been told his part already. The candles flicker, the waiter sets down water, steps back at the tone. Someone jokes about who's packing the heavy stuff. Another boyfriend says, I'll grab the cooler so she doesn't tweak her back. She leans into him, laughs, says she's fragile around stairs. Table laughs with her. I smile tight, say, or we can all just carry our own weight. The words sit there, sharp but neat, like silverware stacked straight. We split the Airbnb cost right then. Everyone Venmos the same amount, I add. And we'll rotate cooking. No default chef just because she's female. A friend nods quickly, grateful, but the guys go quiet for a beat. My husband clears his throat, starts to say something about breakfast. I jump in. We'll both handle our meals. He takes a sip instead, eyes on the candle. The table drifts back to trip routes, playlists, gas stops. One boyfriend offers his hoodie to his girlfriend. The AC is blowing from a vent above. She pulls it on, smiles into her sleeve like it's a shelter. I watch the exchange and remind myself, affection reads like dependence. We're not doing that. We're doing respect. Desserts land, small plates clink. Someone says we should do a quick toast before we lock the plans. One boyfriend grins, lifts his glass. To the lake, to good friends, and to the couples who actually touch each other. Laughs ripple. Not mean, just too honest. I try to laugh with them, louder than I need to. Say, touch is overrated. We do respect? A few smiles stall mid-face. Another boyfriend shrugs, eyes on me, not unkind. Respect's great, just affection tells you you're wanted. His girlfriend's still in his hoodie, sleeves swallowed around her hands. She hides a smile in the cuff. The waiter steps up to refill water, hears the tone, steps back. My napkin's twisted tight in my lap before I notice. Candle wax has dripped a small rim on the saucer, hard and neat. Someone asks about room assignments for the Airbnb. I jump to answer, over-explaining, we're fine with separate tasks, equal loadouts, no coddling. One of the guys cuts in, soft but direct, looking past me. Hey man, are you actually okay with all that? My husband sets his glass down carefully so it doesn't make noise. Looks at the table, not at me. Long, even breath. Then, calm. Respect doesn't feel like silence. The whole table stills like a switch got flipped. My smile freezes, doesn't know where to go. I search for a joke and come up empty. The guy who made the toast clears his throat, suddenly sorry for me. My loudest friend stares at her plate. The hoodie girl squeezes her boyfriend's hand under the table, like a reflex. I try to save it. Say, see? He's communicating. No one bites. My husband adds nothing else, just moves his fork like he's finished talking for the month. The check folio lands between us. Total circled, service charge printed clean. No one reaches first. I say, we'll Venmo the exact because I need a task. He nods without looking up. Someone murmurs, we'll sort cars later, and the table breaks into small talk in self-defense. The waiter asks if we want boxes. I say no, even though half my plate is untouched. My husband asks for a box anyway, because of course he does. We stand to leave, chairs scrape tile, loud in the sudden quiet. Outside, air hits colder than it should. The group drifts to the curb in couples, small gaps between bodies closing without thinking. I walk a step ahead so nobody sees my face. Behind me, I hear him tell one of the guys, I'll drive separate for the trip. It's practical, it's distance, and I have nothing smart to say to make it sound like respect. Drive home in silence. Highway hum fills the car louder than either of us. He doesn't look over, hands steady on the wheel. I crack first. Why didn't you tell me you felt that way? Eyes stay forward. I did. You just didn't want to hear it. I reached for the usual script. I was protecting us, keeping things respectful. He shakes his head, calm but final. No, you were keeping me quiet. I push back, defensive. I just didn't want to play into the whole men in control, women submissive thing. He finally looks at me, voice sharper than before. Do you hear yourself? Every choice, every touch, you filter it through some war between men and women. It was never just us. Silence stretches, only turn signal clicking. I try again. I thought I was making it equal. He exhales, steady but tired. Equal isn't one person writing all the rules. That's not respect, that's control. We pull into the driveway, garage light buzzing. I grab the wine like it's a shield, pour a glass without tasting. He passes straight to the couch, doesn't even slow near me. I call after him. We can talk after you rest. He sits down, firm. I've been resting for months. He stands by the couch, doesn't even reach for the blanket. I say carefully, if you want, you can come upstairs. He shakes his head, lowers himself onto the cushion. Voice flat. When did sharing a bed become submission? Finally I say, we're just redefining respect. He doesn't answer. In bed, I rehearse what I'll tell people. We're strong. We don't need the performance. Feminism is the best thing I've done for our relationship.